Everybody put your hands together for Jack.
So nerds. Cool. All right, so raise your hand if you've been in a car accident. Raise your hand, keep your hands up if you've been in a car accident in the last 10 years. In the last 10 years in Lexington. Guess what? I've got your data. So let's talk about it. Thank you, Ron. So, my name is Jack King, and you might wonder, how did I get into this whole mess? Am I involved with the city? No. Am I involved with the state? Also no. Do I have anything to do with roads or police or anything? No. Batting 1,000, gang. So I worked at the University of Kentucky, did that for a long time, that's why I'm here, and was dismissed from that job as part of a department merger, stung a little bit after 19 years, then became a data scientist. Moved around, worked in Los Angeles for a while, but now most of my work is private contracting and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the background for me. What I do, I eat, sleep, breathe data. If you talk to me about it, I will talk ceaselessly. So, what are we talking about today? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the data sources. So, the Lexington City portal is where I'm going to get the shape files that you'll see. So the shapes of streets and things that you'll see in this viz are from the Lexington Fed portal. That's super easy. It's easy to download. Weather data I got from Weather Underground, which I've scraped over 50 years of hourly weather data. So a lot of weather data. Climate change is real. And then finally, most of the data you'll be seeing is from the Kentucky State Police, which was a huge pain in the ass, which took several like consecutive days worth of downloading to get. So, and to show you, there's some problems with that data. You'll notice here is our data, and you might notice this huge gaping hole in 2012. That is because apparently it just doesn't exist anymore. So the 2012 data is completely missing from the data set. And as a matter of fact, actually, when reviewing this data, I found out that the state police only have about a 10-year retention. So actually, you can't find the 2013 data that I have archived here, you're welcome, or this 2011 data. So there's stuff in here that you just can't get anymore. That's why archiving is important, folks. So, why does this matter? Why do collisions matter? I was told by police when I worked in the state originally that there are no accidents, only collisions. So we'll refer to it as collisions for the course of this. So the blue line here is the collisions per year. You'll notice again, I've just cropped 2012 out of all this data, so the numbers at the bottom look weird. 2012 just will never appear. But see, pretty consistently, you see our one little drop there. Guess what year that was? That's COVID. Nobody drove. But then the orangish line here, that is actually the total number of fatalities due to traffic collisions. This does not necessarily include pedestrians or cyclists. I have to use that as a caveat. But this bottom line here represents the percentage of deaths to collisions, like deaths over total number of collisions. So you can see for 2013 we hit a record high for deaths per collisions. So, what causes all that? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about weather. The majority of collisions that happen in Lexington happen in what I would call suboptimal conditions. That is, I define optimal as clear and sunny. If it's not clear and sunny, well, is it really optimal? I lived in LA, trust me, it's not. So you'll see what we end up getting with this. Excuse me. So this graph didn't end up making it to the final cut, but it's important to see your optimal conditions here. Only about 42% of collisions happen during optimal times. So you get so basically bad weather, pointy fingers, is responsible for about 15% increase in collision rates. So if it's rainy or it's dark, about 15% more collisions. So, what about speed? Right? This is a fun one. So this is actually, again, this was just a straight download from the Lexington data portal. So that is, I just think it's a cool graphic. Those are streets that are colored by speed limits. Any guesses based on this, as you might have seen from the last slide, any guess what the median speed in Lexington, Kentucky is? 30. Okay, anybody else? 45. 48. Okay, 25 miles an hour. The median speed. How many people drove 25 miles an hour here today? Nobody. Nobody. I can tell you. And if you look at averages, so I personally like a median when you're dealing with a lot of data like this. It normalizes the data a little bit more. Averages, it's about 29 miles an hour. So slightly faster on the average, but then again, you're also including I-75. So, bumps the average up a little bit. This is really the meat and potatoes. So this is a pixelated sort of representation of all collisions in Lexington. I'll show you a better, more honed-in version of this shortly. Our little graph right here at the top right, that is day of week, time of day down the side. You'll notice the block of the working week here, obvious there. So a lot of people get in collisions or frequently coming back from work, right? Everybody just wants to get home, right? So you see a lot more of those afternoon collisions than you see of the morning collisions. You also just happen to see that people like to leave work a little early on Fridays. So, down here, this is by day, right? This is individual days. So there was this individual day in 2017 where there were 153 car accidents in the city of Lexington. That was the big peak there. You might notice that these peaks are happening pretty cyclically. And you might think to yourself, what is that? So, any guesses? Any guesses at what might be causing those big time change? Okay, that's a good one. Good one.
Sports or snow.
Sports or snow. Sports or snow. Okay.
UK move in.
UK move in. That's pretty good. Pretty good guesses. Pretty good guesses, gang. Turns out, approximately 85% of the highest ones correlate to a University of Kentucky ball game of some kind. 34 of the 40 top days out of that data set of the last 12 years were either, they were a ball game of some kind. So there were football, basketball, and there was one baseball, but I don't think too many people tailgate baseball. I don't know. It is the way it is. So, this is because I just really like AI and I wanted to put a guest slide up here. They're not taking our jobs anytime soon, it's fine. So, for the next little bit, I would like everyone to guess, what of these three sets of age ranges, 16 to 20, 20 to 25, or 35 plus, are responsible for the majority of car accidents in Lexington? Okay, hearing a lot of 35 plus. Teenagers, okay, yeah, I mean, we all know that they're awful. Absolutely awful. I will tell you, before I flip to the next slide, that insurance companies are pretty right. 21-year-olds actually are responsible for 7% of all car accidents in Lexington, more than 7%. However, given the ranges, you'll notice that at 21, there's a lot of accidents, but then they get better. Oh, look at them, they get better. Until they get to middle age. In which case, I call it the middle age plateau, where no one really gets any better at driving. We just keep crashing into each other. Get the middle age plateau, and then, well then, you know, then you either quit driving or natural causes. Okay. So those pesky kids, they're drinking, right? They gotta be drinking. Well, here's the breakdown. This is everyone that had over a 0.001 blood alcohol content, split medians by age and by blood alcohol content. Women, we had women, men, and then there was an unknown or third division in there. Oops. But it was not statistically significant, so I couldn't really include it. So you'll see the median for ladies is 29, the median for guys is 32. You know, after college, what do you got to do but just keep drinking? We are in a bar. Tip your bartender. Women, it's kind of hard to see. I keep hitting that other button. It's kind of hard to see, but about 0.185 is the median blood alcohol content for women, 0.183, 0.185 for men. That is approximately not quite twice the legal limit. You will see, I didn't do averages because, well, there are certain people on here, like this 58, 59-year-old gentleman who had a 0.41. That is more than 4 times the legal limit. Unbelievable. And these two 30-year-olds, two 30-year-old ladies with almost 4 times the legal limit at 0.397. So yeah. So I thought, okay, I'm interested in cars. They have cars in the state. Well, I'm just curious about stuff. So I threw all the cars on here, but realistically what this shows is just a population, right? These are the most popular cars, no biggie, most popular models. But then I thought, well, what about hit and runs and insurance, and all that kind of stuff? Interestingly enough, if you look at who gets suspected of drinking, Chevys go to the top of the list. Jumps up several percentage points. More importantly, you really see the pickup trucks of the world, the F-150s, the Ram pickups, the Silverados, a lot of those come up. Interestingly, I don't have a slide for this, but all this data is fully explorable, by the way. But if someone is uninsured, they are twice as likely to hit and run, by the way. So, okay. So what are you really looking at? Most dangerous, right? Tonight, the role of Fox News is played by me. What's the most dangerous thing to scare you to sleep tonight? Okay. Where do most accidents happen? Nicholasville Road. By a landslide. Not even close. So, what we have here, the first column is length of road. The second column is distinct count of incidents. These are crashes. Then we have the next one, which is collisions by length, right? What I would call like danger by length. Danger. And then, of course, sadly, past. So Nicholasville Road easily, but also Nicholasville Road quite large. We go the other direction, collisions by length, Ironworks Pipe. Now, I filtered this to just places that had at least 20 collisions. Now, again, this is over about 10 plus years. So that's only 2 a year, so it's not wild. I can filter this down a lot more, but you still see like Bryan Station Road makes it into the top, Russell Cave Road. But lastly, of course, if we look at most deadly, West New Circle Road. And if anybody's been paying attention to the news lately, and the city of Lexington is actually on top of it. Anyway, it's right here. It's a little hard to see, but here's this little, that is the section. I can show you a better screenshot on my laptop. I can actually show you all this data on my laptop. But I've gone through this quickly because I know we're going to have a lot of questions, and I know you like links. Oh, Joe, it's so much better if you didn't see that. So in this data, you'll see the act like it's the first time. The police collision queries. I've already downloaded all this data. It's available for all of you to read and peruse as you'd like. There's also the Fayette County data, and then of course the link to this entire publicly available database. So everything I've shown you, almost all the slides, are available. They're public, and you can get to them. And you might think to yourself, do I have questions? So let's do questions.
Well, let's clap first.
Well, yeah. I will tell you before you ask.